All right, so let's see. What's going on with you? Or is there anything anyone's talking about fights you might have coming up? I can't think. Oh, right. Errol Spence, do you have any news as to how close that fight is?
Not really. Nothing's really, set in stone or.
Close that fight is.
Not really. Nothing's really, set in stone or, any dates or anything thus far. But we definitely working on that fight to happen.
You best be.
And what would that mean for you? Do you feel like this is the perfect time for that fight, that it really should happen now?
Yes, I do believe this is the perfect time, being that it's for all the marbles, it's for undisputed. So
That's what you best do.
this is a big moment for not only myself but for Errol Spence Jr. as well to make, history in his own right.
Last time we saw you, you had a great performance against Sean Porter. Last time we saw Errol, he had a great performance against Dennis Ugas. What did you think of that performance of his?
Oh, he did great. I thought he made the adjustments that he had to make to get the job done. And
Anyway, people, yeah. Don't want to do no more waffling from Crawford. He loved to waffle, but listen, you heard there from him. I hate to say it. In my last video on this topic, where we listened to the clip from Errol Spence, when he was with Frank Matthews, Errol Spence said, "Oh man, if it doesn't happen now, it's never gonna happen." And all these dudes, man, they got me sketchy. Every day we hear about how close it is. But no word of a lie, I do videos probably once a week on this topic. And for the last 2 weeks, we've been hearing about how close it is. I think about 2 weeks ago, Steven Espinoza said he wants it wrapped up in 3 weeks. It's like, again, it is 2022. So I'm not shocked to hear that decent fights take forever to make. All I'm saying is, yeah, I guess to be fair, it is closer than ever. We've never had these two men in active contract negotiations. So I guess maybe being a boxing fan in 2022, I have to salute that. I ain't saluting shit. I salute when you got in there and you done the fight and you performed. That's what I'll salute. I'm sick of these athletes paid a whole bunch of bag, and we're supposed to be grateful that they're doing what they're supposed to do. You ain't supposed to be fighting bums all the time. We just had Ryan Garcia make $2 million fighting a bum. What the fuck? That's not how the world's supposed to work, honestly. I don't know, it's super weird. In no other industry, yeah, can you get paid gross amounts of money for doing the bare bones minimum. You've pretty much, in any other industry, you've got to be the smartest and be doing the most innovative things in the world to make $2 million in a month, essentially, or 2 months. You've got to be literally in the top 0.01% of people to make $2 million in 2 months. These guys jump in there against a bum and they're making a whole bunch of back. Anyway, man, listen. You heard there from Crawford. He said he not sure how the negotiations are going, essentially. Because listen, all I know is, yeah, when I've seen people not have an official contract. Clearly, they haven't got a contract signed officially yet. I'm not asking for that. What I'm asking for, yeah, is for that desperation. There's nothing else on my mind but this guy. Neither of these two cats, yeah, have said that. As I mentioned, Errol Spence said, not sure. If it doesn't happen now, it's probably never going to happen. From their point of view, in my opinion, they're talking about and thinking about all the wrong things. Ain't no one asking you, if it happens now, will it ever happen? What fans want now is to know that both of these individuals are desperate for this fight. That's what fills me with confidence. I'd love nothing more than to watch an Errol Spence interview and for him to tell people, listen people, there's no one else on my radar. This fight, I've told Al Heyman, get me this fight. The same way I told Al Heyman to get me all the other bums I fought. Yeah? Don't forget people, Errol Spence had no problem getting the Mikey Garcia fight. That fight was done. He wanted that one badly. That one wasn't even in his weight division and he made it happen. Do you understand? That's what I want. I want Errol Spence to treat Terence Crawford like he did Mikey Garcia. Because when Errol Spence wanted the Mikey Garcia fight, even though it was completely out of left field and made no sense, dude was 2-3 weight divisions lower, Errol Spence made it happen. He was all over it. Same as Crawford. When Crawford fighting Kell Brook and Sean Porter, the fight get done. And what I find really odd is, in particular, is the fact that, guess what? Terence Crawford just fought Sean Porter on the PBC. That's in-house. So Terence Crawford, for all intents and purposes, yeah, Terence Crawford's essentially a PBC fighter. His last fight was on the PBC, I'm pretty sure, was it not? Or was Sean Porter a free agent? I'm not sure. No, it was, because, yeah, Terence Crawford's been suing Bob Arum. That fight was PBC. So Terence Crawford, for as far as we're concerned, is PBC. All you have to do, don't forget, these men tell us how good Al is. Why are we not hearing from Errol Spence and Terence Crawford? I told Al, get me this fight. That's all I want to hear now. Maybe these guys are just bad at communicating. Maybe it's the way I'm interpreting things. And I understand there's a lot of you Errol Spence fans and Terence Crawford fans who are hoping. I'm not into hope. Hope don't get... How far has hoping got us in the past? Nowhere. I'm a realist. And I know, or I feel I know, when two men are desperate for a fight, that's how you can be pretty sure it's going to happen. I want this fight next. I don't care about nothing. I want it bad. I want it for the legacy. What's wrong with that? Historically, fighters have wanted things for the legacy. Money, that comes, great. We know great fights are going to bring money. That's not the only focus though. In 2022 it is. In 2022, people work out the money first and then do everything else. No. These guys should want this fight first and then the money is a bonus. I want to prove I'm the baddest of my era. We ain't hearing that yet. I actually haven't heard from either man them sit there and say, listen, I want this one. I want this one to prove I'm number one. Scrap the details. Scrap the specifics. After I've won this fight, I'll be the 80-20 A-side. And I agree with that. Whoever wins this fight is the bona fide 70-30 or 80-20, 75-25 A-side. Simple as that. And that's how really I feel contracts should be done. It should be based on, boom, winner takes all essentially for the rematch. Make sure these guys feel, you know what I'm saying? These days, people like AJ, for example, they negotiate all of their contracts in advance. So they tell people, well, even if I lose, AJ can lose a fight and still be getting 50-50. There's absolutely no incentive for him to show up and put on a show. He turns up and he loses, he gets paid just as much in the rematch. Or he gets paid half the share in the rematch. But anyway, man, listen. All I'm saying is, I hope I'm wrong. Maybe it's just because Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are humble. But I've seen humble champions in the past. And they made it clear what they wanted next. They weren't... I get the feeling these two cats, yeah, they're happy just to kind of... Yeah, if I end up in that fight, cool. I'm not going to complain. But, you know what I mean? It just feels all a bit too... Take it or leave it. I haven't got that feeling that they want this one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe you man have seen some things and you know they're desperate for this. I'd love to see some evidence. Someone please link me evidence where you've seen Errol Spence and Terence Crawford thirsty for this fight. Anyway, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm reading the signals wrong and it gets done. Let's see.